and say, really happy to give the mic to you, Brad, because you have so much life and joy within you. I think it's important in times where we are, also in a parallel moment, saying goodbye to someone, to remember the gift that it is to be alive. So, Mike, to you.
Well, it is interesting that everything is playing out the way it is today. It's amazing how the energy you put out there attracts messages and things. So, first off, let me get my technical part out of the way. And Michelle, you were talking about systems. I mean, David Allen was a huge part of the systems that I've created that give me that structure and help me have powerful weeks every day. And then on top of that, Michael Gerber, and I don't know if I've ever talked about this, but he actually talks about the eightfold path of a business owner. And I'm just going to run through those real quick. And you can just Google Michael Gerber Eightfold Path. And he talks about building your dream, then your vision, then your purpose, then your mission. Just step one, step two, step three, step four. But then those systems where David Allen interjected and helped me create those systems along with this path was my job and my client fulfillment system. So documenting what I do every single day. Number six is practice, developing your practice so that you move out of that job role more into a practice and that client acquisition system. Then number seven was your business. Now it starts to run without you being involved every single day. And what are those turnkey management systems? And then the eightfold path is the enterprise where you start expanding in your turnkey leadership system. So that's kind of the techie side of what I wanted to tack on when you talked about David Allen and systems and how Michael Gerber affected that. For me today, though, I'm going to talk about shocking the ego, the pattern interrupt that you might need to interject just to make a change, to do something different. And when I say shock the ego, I wake up every day and man, I've got this thing under control. I'm going to have a power week every week because I just come in, I do what my system says to do, and then I write out the day. Sometimes you need to shock the ego. And that pattern interrupt is facilitate change by shaking and deestablishing or destabilizing your established thoughts and behavior patterns. So here's what I mean, literally today, we're doing Shock the Ego week. So this is a kickoff to a power week for me. I have a friend that went in and got his normal blood test done. And and they had just seen the very start of colon cancer, like so early in the stages that it hadn't even started yet. They just picked up on it. So he starts chemo today. And so for 6 weeks, they want to get the best result they can and beat this sucker. So they are cutting out sugar and alcohol. And they're some of our best friends that we have a lot of sugar and a lot of alcohol together, man. And so here's how this relates back to my life. For the last 3 or 4 weeks, we started reading a book called EOS, the Entrepreneurial Operating System by Gino Wickman. I think you might have mentioned it in the last day or two, Michelle, the EOS Life. And talk about coaches. The coaching department that I work with, everybody is cutting out sugar and alcohol. Brad Korn was just sitting quietly in the background going, I like my little drink at the end of the day, right? I like that stuff. So I just, I might have got the red bar for a second. So I'm just kind of being quiet in the background. And then here our friends show up and my wife is like, we're riding it with them. And I'm like, I'm all about it, man. My coaches are like on me too. And I didn't know if I wanted to play. So we're shocking the ego today, starting that. And the book is really about, and I saw Glenn pop into the room. Glenn has pounded it into our brain. You deserve to live your ideal life. And so that's why everybody's making this commitment to no sugar and no alcohol. And now I get to ride along with it. So this is a kickoff to a new power week for me. I'm going into an unknown land and I'm excited to see what's going to happen over the next 6 weeks.
Well, first of all, congratulations on that declaration and that commitment. And I think that those are two super powerful things that we don't give homage to enough, except in this room, because declaration is really inviting the beginning of that result into being. Because unless we declare it, it's just mush in our brain. And the moment that we declare it, it takes on form. which helps you build towards its functionality. And so I know you guys are going to have the most amazing time. And yes, for everyone who hasn't heard, Gino Wickman, he has this book called Traction, which is really great for entrepreneurs. And then he's got another book, What the Heck is EOS? And then the EOS Life. And there are some just real simple structures for fulfillment in those books. So if you're into simple structures for fulfillment, you can check those out. But, Brad, I just really want to say how excited I am for you and your wife to do that with your friends. And we are 100% here to support you on that piece of accountability, because your commitment to yourself is also your commitment to life that you may have forgotten that you gave just by agreeing to be born. And what a joy to be here in this life. And so I'm just seeing such a theme today. And we didn't know it was going to look like this, but it really is pretty synchronistic. That also, we are at Queen Elizabeth's funeral this morning. Many of us who are up early or who are in Europe already, and just honoring the bounty of life and how much aptitude we have, how much courage we have, how much strength we have, how much resilience we have, how much focus we have, how much gratitude we have, how much love we have. We have so much. So powering our week really could be a relatively simple thing. It could be just acknowledging genuinely and full of rapture in a way, how incredible we are. So this getting our week off to a power start starts with acknowledging our own greatness. And, that doing the no sugar, no alcohol thing is one way of doing that. So power to you. I'm passing the mic to Tony. I see his mic is open.
Yeah, I was just going to say, listen, Brad, it's going to feel great at the end, but you're not going to have a great time in the beginning. I'll tell you that, because just giving up sugar is a difficult one. Obviously giving up alcohol is something that, obviously, unless you've got a problem with it, it's a little easier. But there's so much sugar in everything. You're in for a treat. It's not going to be sweet treat either. Stay away from the. Well, but in the end, yeah, you're going to be. Yes, exactly how you're going to be feeling, Brad. In the end, you're gonna be thanking yourself for it. So just wanted to jump in and say that. But all right, let's move the train along. It's 8:07 a.m.
Yep, moving.